Hey Kadyas, this is me, Kate Hodson, and in this video मैं बस एक ही चीज बोलूँगा. Please try to be humans and not animals. And humans, please don't fail humanity. Instead, try to save it. So a few days back in June, there was this doctor called Dr. Seuj Kumar. It was his second day in the COVID care center in Assam. He was asked to check a patient who just got admitted that day only. When he did that, he realized that the patient had already died and was unresponsive. So he just informed the family, and the family got just so furious that they started throwing chairs, breaking windows, and at one point they just dragged him out and just started beating him. Yeah, he deserved it, right? Mind you, this was his second day at job, and this is the treatment that he received from a dead patient's family. Shame, man. A sensible Indian citizen goes to a doctor, blames them for a patient's death, abuses them, and then just talk about how death is destined. More than 75% of the doctors in India have experienced some sort of violence, including physical and verbal violence. 2 out of 3 doctors in India have experienced burnout in recent times, and more than 50% doctors are mentally exhausted. अगर doctors नहीं होंगे गवार लोगों, then who is going to save you from those freaking diseases that you get? In the present scenario, there is one doctor for per 11,000 people. Don't make this ratio fall to one doctor for 1 lakh people. Because of course, if this continues, then most of the Indian doctors will prefer practicing abroad. अब रास्ते में घूमना मरीज लेके.
You know, we live in a society where if a doctor doesn't reply to your queries at night 2 a.m. on WhatsApp, they're called egoistic. If a doctor charges you fees to attend, which hardly even covers the cost of investigation and the tests, they're called greedy. And if the doctor refers the patient to some other specialist just because the patient's ailment doesn't concern the doctor's specialty, they're called fake. Nice, bye.
There's another doctor who was beaten up recently. This is a story of Karnataka. There was a 50-year-old doctor called Dr. Deepak who was treating a 6-year-old boy for dengue, and that boy dies for some health complications. And his बच्चे की family इतनी दुखी हो गई that they decided to beat up a 50-year-old doctor to such an extent that he is still hospitalized. Now tell me one thing. Did that doctor intentionally kill that child? And a doctor always tries his level best to save a patient. Since they are compared to gods, it does not mean that they are not human. They are human beings as well. They are just like you and me. That child died, very sad. But it does not mean that you are going to beat up a doctor. Do you know the reason why Indians are hating humanity?
Because we are taught integration and differentiation in school but not value education.
Fun fact, all those dislikes that you see are from those people who find it alright to assault a doctor. Shame on you, my haters. Legit, shame on you. I salute all the doctors who are working hard to save those people whom they have met for the first time. Now when police is not safe from such atrocities. Few days back, a police officer from Bihar was beaten to death by a mob in West Bengal. That guy was just doing his duty. Now, a person who's just doing his job is given death for doing his job. Wow. And we live in the country with the longest constitution. जिसको कोई follow नहीं करता क्योंकि of course the people who are to maintain the law and order in the country are not safe from these uncivilized monsters. कौन ही follow करे constitution को? Now I feel that कि class 10 तक जो pol science पढ़े those were all lies क्योंकि practical life में वो सब कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. वो सब सिर्फ theoretical utopian version में होता था. And the interesting fact that कि ऐसे cases of a police official getting beaten up to death are regular in India. हर दिन कोई ना कोई police official is beaten up to death for doing his duty. Wow, India, wow. These people can't serve the nation and they won't even let others to serve the nation. And now we are unable to protect the elderly people as well. Mr. Abdul Samad Khan was a retired sub-inspector in police. He had retired back in 2006 and he was beaten up by 3 real monsters with sticks until he laid motionless, bleeding and one arm almost mutilated. और ये ऐसा नहीं है कि ये किसी गली में हो रहा है फिर उनके घर में घुस के ऐसे किया जा रहा है. It was all happening on the road in front of everybody. And what did the local people do? Nothing. There was a 70-year-old man getting beaten up, and that 70-year-old man died due to this. India, तुम अपने बुजुर्गों को बचा नहीं पा रहे हो. And this is the same country where people were just doing WhatsApp forwards with the video in which George Floyd was dying. कि देखो बाहर के nations में क्या हो रहा है, एक innocent आदमी को मारा जा रहा है. तुम्हारे अपने देश में क्या हो रहा है? दूसरों के थाली में बाद में देखोगे, पहले अपने थाली में देखो. अपने थाली को साफ रखो प्लीज.